Well, here it is. Joe Manchin announced his opposition to the White House budget pick, possibly dooming her nomination. Neera Tanden's pick for budget chief runs a thick tank backed by corporate. So that's the problem with Neera Tanden, just so you know. The problem with Neera Tanden is she is a corporate money laundering operation, the Center for American Progress. She wants to cut Social Security. She's always wanted to. As a Hillary Clinton delegate at the DNC platform, she voted against $15 minimum wage, voted against Medicare for all. She voted against a ban on fracking. She voted against acknowledging Palestinian humanity. She voted for the TPT, and she voted for military action on Iran. Plus, she also advocated for stealing oil from Libya to fund our social programs here at home. So she's a big she's the worst of the worst, Neera Tanden. And so the story is that the Justice Democrats, the leader of the Justice Democrats, went on CNN to defend her. I'm not kidding. You think I'm kidding? Here we go. Watch this.
Now, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia just announced that he will vote against President Biden's pick to lead the Office of Management and Budget, Neera Tanden, putting her nomination in jeopardy. Manchin saying in a statement, in part, quote, "I have carefully reviewed Neera Tanden's public statements and tweets that were personally directed towards my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, from Senator Bernie Sanders to Senator Mitch McConnell and others. I believe her overtly partisan statements will have a toxic and detrimental impact on the important working relationship between members of Congress and the next director of the Office of Management and Budget." Let's bring in our panel. Alexandra Rojas,
So this is the head of the Justice Democrats. Alexandria Rojas, is that her name? Okay. So here she goes.
Biden's first defeat, and obviously a defeat for Neera Tanden personally because of a bunch of tweets she's done that were rather harsh.
Now, that's the thing people are making a stink out of her tweets. That's not the worst part about it. We showed you the worst part. There's actually way worse parts of Neera Tanden. Her tweets are the nicest part about herself. Okay, so they're trying to pretend that's the problem with Neera Tanden, not her neoliberalism, her imperialism, her corporatism. That's not the problem. That is the problem. Her anti-workerism. Those are the problems. They're trying to pretend this is all about her mean tweets. That's not what this is about. But watch the head of the Justice Democrats defend Neera Tanden. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I was just going to say, can we just real quick point out how freaking annoying that is, by the way, making it out like it's just about her tweets. Yeah. It's the exact same thing as when people on the right are like, oh, come on, the only thing you don't like about Trump is his tweets. Like, no, it's also all the terrible policies, too. And now liberals are doing it. The only thing you don't like about Neera is her tweets. No, it's all this other stuff, too. And as a lefty, you have to put up with both of those camps. And it's so freaking exhausting.
Yes, Ron, it is exhausting. Yes, that's exactly right. So let's listen now to what the head of the Justice Democrats, remember, as Kyle Kalinske said, they were sent to Washington to do a hostile takeover of the Democratic Party. Let's watch her defend one of the worst neoliberals in the entire party and, of course, the biggest enemy of progressives inside the party. Here we go.
Yeah, and I mean, there's public record of those tweets, but the reality is I think that Joe Manchin is the one being divisive right now. We are in the middle of a public pandemic. Joe Biden was just elected by a huge mandate by the American people. We have to deliver as Democrats, and we need people in positions of power who are ready and prepared to go big in this moment.
Neera Tanden is none of those things. She is not prepared to go big in this moment. She's not even qualified to do that job. If Trump had appointed someone as corrupt as her and as incompetent as her and unable to do the job as her, we'd all be screaming, oh, look, another one of these crony capital, another one of these. That's a stunning I was stunned when I heard that. I was stunned. Ron, your reaction to the head of the Justice Democrats saying we all have to, as Democrats, we have to deliver, and that means we have to not be opposed to Neera Tanden.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm not a Democrat, so nice to know I'm not breaking the rules. I'm opposed to Neera Tanden, and I'm allowed to continue to be as a not Democrat. So I got that going for me. So I'm relieved.
Does this, I don't know how much longer people are going to keep kidding themselves about the Justice Democrats. How much longer do you think people are going to keep kidding themselves about the Justice Democrats?
Well, I mean, I think that. I mean, I'm sort of like not for the whole concept. I just don't think this whole we're going to reform the Democratic Party. Well, this is they don't want to be reformed. They spend $50 million a year to make sure you can't quote unquote reform them. And that's in grassroots numbers. That's a lot of money. That's enough to crush most things. So, I mean, to me, it's just we need an entirely different electoral solution. And it's not going to come from within the Democratic Party. That's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed, but not shocked to hear takes like these, come out of those organizations where it's like, well, we just have to get behind this, even though it's terrible. And it's like, well, no, we don't.
It's terrible. Ron, I was still shocked. I know. I didn't think. I was still shocked by this. I thought, well, how does it hurt? How's it going to hurt she's not even in Congress. She's just the head of an organization. She's not, you know what I mean? It's like, what did they get? And I was shocked that, of course, I thought she would just reflexively, of course, we want better picks. We would hit, and she would have a list of people who are better than Neera Tanden to do that job and say, this is her we are pushing. They're not doing any of that. They don't have a list of people they want to see. Where's that list? Do you know of that list that the Justice Democrats came up with of the people you want to see in Biden's administration or Bernie's list of people he want? There's no list.
I haven't seen one if there is such a list. I mean, I don't know of one either, but I don't know. I mean, if I was put on CNN anytime recently, I would just start screaming, "Where is the $2,000?" over and over again until they cut my mic. So I certainly wouldn't go to bat for someone like Neera Tanden.
Ron, I'm noticing you got a new microphone there. It's pretty sweet.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd say something. Yes, I did get this new microphone, and I like it very much.
Now, is that a Shure SM7?
This is a Shure SM7.
Nice.
I think it was. Well, you always hear about people talk about it on different. I mean, I've heard you talk about it. You've talked about it before. Graham's talked about it before. Basically, every podcast I've listened to, they've talked about it before, and I'm like, you know what? It's time. It's a new year, new me. I'm getting an SM7. And so I can also say I'm literally letting my hair down because it keeps freaking growing. So, yeah, here I am.
I've been cutting my hair for a year straight myself.
Really?
Yes. For a year
that's...
straight. It's not easy, but the back, certainly you don't want to see the back. You do not want to see the back. But I've been doing it. It's still a little bit. It does. I mean, it's guy's hair. It's guy's hair. How hard is it? But
yeah, I mean, you're doing a better job than I would if I tried my own hair. I mean, I applaud your courage, man. I'm not going to try it. I have a buddy who's a barber, and I think at some point we're just going to do a socially distanced outdoor, like maybe in like my garage or something, and he's going to cut my hair.
I think if it's outside, and you both wear masks, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, totally. It's just. We thought about doing it on like the rooftop deck of my apartment complex, but I'm like, it gets kind of windy up there this time of year. So I'm worried like if his hand slips or something. You don't want wind blowing your. Oh, I didn't mean to cut that piece. It blew into the scissor. Ron, how do you feel about a buzz cut? Because that's our only option now.
Rod,
wind.
Do you have any auditions for a sailor coming up?
Good news and bad news. They need a sailor. You're in.
So back to the sketch. This is not the sketch. This is the segment. I almost said the sketch. Back to the segment. I want to stop doing segments and I want to start doing sketches.
Yes.
I'm kind of tired of doing the news.
I should say it
ain't changing anything. Things are just getting shittier. Honest, things are just getting shittier. I did my job. I think I exposed the Democrats for being Republicans, and what else do you want me to do? And I exposed the establishment news media for being corporate news and right-wing imperialists and captured by Wall Street, healthcare, and military-industrial complex, just like the Democratic Party. I think I did that. Now I just want to start doing comedy again.
Well, I don't want to turn this into a brainstorm sesh, but things keep getting shittier. Sounds like a killer name for a sketch series. So, this might be the start of something.
Things keep getting shittier. Sounds like a sketch. Sounds like a sketch show.
I like it.
I agree. You think it can't get any shittier, then it does.
And your spirits
Right?
can get shitty too.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I just lost my job, and I got this, and I have COVID. How could it get shitter? You got hit by a bus. It could always get a little worse. Turns out you need a root canal. Anyway, I never thought I would see a moment where people who called themselves progressives in public could go on a national television show and defend Neera Tanden for anything. It is mind-blowing, but let's see what else she had to say here.
Not leave anyone behind. The mentality has got to be of the Democratic Party especially, but any elected official, that we have to move quickly to save as many lives as possible. And I would also point out that
So because we're in COVID, we've got to get shitty people in their positions lickety-split. We've got to get the most corrupt enemy of the workers as possible. We got to get them appointed because of COVID, baby. COVID. That's why we got to staff the government with imperialistic neoliberal maniacs. That's why.
And it is.
Do you see
it is so urgent that the government is on vacation. That is how urgent it is. They went on vacation reluctantly, I think, maybe. Probably not. They probably just went on vacation because that's what they do. But that's the sense of urgency. So we have to approve this awful person.
So let's hear what else crazy shit. I mean, that is just nuts. That's supposed to be a non-corporate political head of a non-corporate political group from the left. That's mental. I don't know. I don't even know if that's allowed to say anymore. That'll get you kicked off Twitter if you say something. But but that's crazy. Can you say crazy? Whatever that is, that's insane. And can I say all those things? Are these things okay to say? I don't even know anymore.
Right?
But I'll say it this. It's super not right. I mean, could they? First of all, I just want to say to her, thank you for making me look like a genius. I appreciate you guys not letting me down. At every turn, they side with the establishment and fuck the progressives. At every turn, they pretend they don't know what's going on and they do the wrong thing. And what she's doing here is called gaslighting you. So now you have, instead of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer gaslighting you, now you have the head of the Justice Democrats doing it. That's what that's called. Chagrin. They're doing it again. I didn't see this coming. What the fuck? Who didn't see this coming? Actually, I didn't. I'm not kidding. I actually did not see. I mean, I saw the Justice Democrats were going to keep rolling over for the establishment, but I didn't think they would do it over Neera Tanden. That's stunning. It's still, you weren't stunned. I still am. I'm still stunned. Even if I say, go ahead.
But it's like I saw the onslaught on Twitter beforehand too. I mean, I saw.
I've been off Twitter for a couple of weeks. It's been really helping me emotionally. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh well. I think that explains a lot, Jimmy. You didn't see the onslaught of people on Twitter defending Neera Tanden.
I did not. What? Are you kidding me?
You just saw this instead.
Was there an onslaught of people defending Neera Tanden on Twitter? Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah, I mean, just like people kind of like, well, you got to approve her and this and that and blah, blah. And then people who were also saying like reject Neera. I mean, that was also a hashtag. So, yeah, you missed that party, man. You didn't see any of that. So, yeah, I mean, you're not missing anything. Like I'm not encouraging you to go.
I know that if people. Oh, hang on one second. This is my pot dealer. Anyway, pot dealer. Remember when you used to have a pot dealer?
You still need one of those?
Yeah. You don't. That's why that joke didn't work. That's a dumb joke. What were you just saying, Ron?
They were defending
I was
Neera.
just saying, like, there was a lot. This clip there was a lot of tweets that kind of emphasize what's being said in this clip. That's all. I mean, you didn't miss anything, but it was all there.
So let me see what else she has to say.
No problem voting to confirm other appointments of clearly partisan members when it was the previous Republican administration. There should be no, I think, opposition to some, folks that are being proposed by the Biden administration who have, clearly are ready to do the work and are ready to get the job done, and they feel are the best prepared to do it.
Now, what, Ron, that is, I know you're not stunned, Ron. I'm still reserving my right to be stunned.
No, totally. Well, I mean, I'm listening to this response, and it's almost like she challenged herself. I'm going to answer a question about Neera Tanden without mentioning Neera Tanden.
So here's the same question I asked about what is in it for her to do that? What is in it for the Justice Democrat leader to do that? What is possibly in it for her to get on television to be seen defending Joe Biden's administration's appointment of a horrible anti-progressive? What could possibly be in it for her? And why isn't she on there offering someone else? I don't know. All I can tell you is that what the guess is, she's looking to keep her job inside a party somewhere. She's looking to keep friendly with, I don't know what the hell's going on, but this is what happens when you put Democrat in the name of what you're doing. This is what happens when you become part of the Democratic Party. It changes you. You don't change it. So I don't know why the hell she's doing that. But the fact is she's doing it. And that is unbelievable. It should be stunning. So that's the current head of the Justice Democrats. Here's the former founder. Here's the founder of it. Cenk Uygur decided to do a little comedy for us, which was nice. Cenk Uygur said, I'm not a fan of Neera Tanden. I mean, I have her on my show and stuff, and we're pals, but I'm not a fan of her. In fact, she did some of her mean tweets about me. But unlike Republicans, I don't think we should cancel her because she once hurt someone's feelings. That's not what the problem is, Cenk. And again, this is what Cenk does now. He runs interference for the Democratic Party by gaslighting you. Everyone knows that's not the fucking problem with her. But he's going to pretend that it is. You know what? I don't think we should cancel anybody because it hurts someone's feelings. The hypocrisy of the GOP crying over cancel culture and then trying to cancel over a tweet is amazing. It's Joe Manchin, by the way. It's a Democrat. Also, it's a Democrat. So it's just like, I don't want to use the word lie. I'll just say maybe he's just that dumb. But it's Joe Manchin. And by the way, it's not about her people hurting people's feelings. It's about the shit she did. Well, here's what go ahead, Ron. You want to say something?
Well, no, I was also going to say, what does this have to do with cancel culture? Who is canceling her?
No one's canceling her.
They're saying they're saying she shouldn't get an appointment. What does that have to do?
That's not cancel culture. Were people trying to cancel Kavanaugh because they didn't want him on the Supreme Court? You get to oppose politicians you don't like. That's not cancel culture.
Hey, LA Chargers, I want to play for you. No, I don't think you're qualified, Ron. Stop canceling me. When is cancel culture going to end? I'll be the punter.
Neera Tanden is for fracking, against Medicare for all, wants to cut Social Security. Those aren't tweets, Cenk. Those are positions that she's advocated for. She's also anti-worker. She shut down the magazine her Center for American Progress ran when they unionized. So maybe that's why you like her. Maybe that's why he's a fan. There is literally, I like what Nick, Dr. Cornell West Democrat says, there's literally no bottom for you. It's not Aaron Matei, friend of the show and award-winning journalist, unlike the Griff. He says it's not about her hurting someone's feelings. It's about her actions and policy positions that hurt people. That's exactly right. We know this. But good job at pretending you don't know that, Cenk. Man, I'm all about people changing and evolving. But from Cenk Uygur to Liz Warren, when someone's a former Republican, boy, old habits sure die hard, right? Right? Supporting the bombing of a country to get richer is equivalent to hurting someone's feelings? Got it. Also, you spent the last 2 months trying to desperately to cancel Jimmy Dore because he hurt AOC's feelings. Get the fuck out of here. That's exactly right. Tweets aside, where is the concern for her blatant corruption? That would be it. That's the thing we're against. But after you start taking Katzenberg money, right-wing money, opposing forced the vote. You don't care about blatant corruption of Neera Tanden anymore. And then he doubled down. He said to all progressives, if Neera Tanden is voted down, they're going to replace her with someone even more conservative because Biden is made of jello. If they lose on her, they'll abandon anyone to the left of Attila the Hun. Biden has to have a spine for us to win on anything. What the? He's doing lesser of two. You have to do lesser of two evil voting, even when it comes to the Office of Management and Budget. Even when it comes to that is...
Well, also,
who would by the way, who would potentially be worse than Neera Tanden? Could you throw out a name? Throw out a name. Who would potentially be worse than Neera Tanden? That's, again, I don't know if you're allowed to say things are insane anymore, but that's insane. This is the old take, you have to take it or we're going to make it worse. That's the shit the Democrats have been doing for 40 years, and Cenk Uygur is now embracing it. He's embraced it since Hillary Clinton. But this is the most blatant. This is amazing. That's been going great for the last 40 years. Hey, we have to take it or they'll give us someone worse. That is the biggest, wimpiest, spineless position, and that's why progressives lose. But he doesn't care about losing. That's why he's a proud Democrat.
Well, also...
He sounds like he's been writing those tweets while hiding under his bed.
Well, also, but to the whole thing, he's gonna appoint someone worse. I mean, I guess I can understand that concern, but there's no evidence that is the case. I mean, even some of the alternative names that they've been floating around, Gene Sperling, Ann O'Leary. Now, these are just Clinton, Obama people. Gene Sperling seems a bit of a, deficit hawk type guy. So, I mean, neither of these names are necessarily great at all, and nor would I try to pretend that they are, but I would take them over Neera Tanden. So I don't see how any name that I've seen so far, I don't see how any of them would be worse than Neera Tanden.
I guess
I just don't see that.
Again, my question is the exact same question I have for the leader of the Justice Democrats. What is it that he gets out of doing this? What is it? He's getting something. He's dancing for someone, because this isn't, no one believes he believes any of this shit he's been saying. No one believed what he said about force the vote. No one believes this kind of bullshit. This is called gaslighting for the establishment. And what is he getting out of it? That's up for you to decide. I love what the Sandbeck for Progress says. She's responding to Cenk Uygur saying we have to take Neera Tanden or we're going to get someone worse. She goes, like you thought a Democrat-controlled House would elect a Republican if Pelosi didn't win in the first round for Speaker? Idiot, she says. She's right about Sandbeck for Progress. I'm sorry.
It's David Sandbeck.
David Sandbeck. He's right about that. It's
all right. You can call him.
You should have him on the show.
I should have him on the show. Eddie says, dude, why are you fighting for Neera harder than Medicare for all? That's another good question. Don't know the exact answer, but I know it has something to do with corruption and money somewhere. It doesn't have to do with what, strong logic or ideas or thinking or a through line. Hilarious how TYT doesn't care about corruption anymore. You guys literally criticize Trump for putting people in positions they have no experience in, yet you are supporting Neera. You are a clown. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Well, let's watch this. Here's how this. You want to talk about cancel culture? Let's watch Cenk try to cancel Julian Assange.
The way that Assange seems to be backing Donald Trump over and over and over again, it makes me very seriously question Assange's efforts to actually be a journalist and not to be a partisan. And I get it. I get why he hates the Democrats. They're trying to put him in prison. Okay,
right. But
at the same time,
so are Republicans. Let's be clear about that.
And now the Republicans are too, and they have been in the past. But it seems like Assange has picked a side, and look, it makes me question his reporting, and so that's the situation we're in now. So now is he just leaking things that he gets, and no matter what? In which case I would respect that, or is he selectively leaking? based on his political motives. Now that suspicion is out there and it's real and it's possible, well, now I'm concerned that it can't be trusted.
Jake wants to cancel Julian Assange over doing journalism, but he wants to support Neera Tanden to have a very powerful position inside the Biden administration. Wow. And it's almost like he realizes what he's saying at the end there is it's just absolutely wrong, but he's still doing it anyway because he's dancing for someone. And talk about, so his criticism of Julian Assange is that Julian Assange had picked a side. And so now he can't be a trusted journalist. What fucking side has this guy picked? Are you shitting me? It certainly isn't the progressive side. He was against Medicare for all. He's against forced to vote. He's anti-union. And now he's pro Neera Tanden. What fucking side has this guy picked? And do I
also just say,
go ahead.
Well, I just want to add for the record, that's not true about Julian Assange.
Of course that's not.
Yeah, like when it comes to tribal American politics, he did not pick a side.
He did not pick a side.
There are thousands of pieces of information that totally are not favorable to Donald Trump on WikiLeaks. Thousands upon thousands. So, if you still think that, very tired, debunked idea about Julian Assange, you should just maybe spend some more time on the actual website because that's just straight up not true.
But you can't trust Julian Assange's journalism because he's picked a side. And there's a guy who's obviously objective, hasn't picked a side. He really thinks Neera Tanden's fantastic. He really was against forced to vote. He didn't think we should challenge Nancy Pelosi. That's what he really thought. Let's remind everybody, Neera Tanden, this is from WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks revealed that Neera Tanden wanted to steal the oil from Libya. She wanted to steal the oil from Libya to pay for our invasion of it. That's what Neera Tanden wanted to do. Guess who else wanted to do that?
We bomb the oil, take the oil. Bomb the oil, take the oil. Just take it, right?
Take the oil. That's what Neera Tanden said. That's who they're appointing right now inside the Joe Biden administration. Neera Tanden is for doing that. By the way, here's another tweet of Neera Tanden's. Which entities want American troops totally removed from Iraq, Iran, and ISIS? So if you want us to get out of Iraq, she's gonna say you're sympathizing with Iran or ISIS. That Americans don't want us to get out of Iraq. somehow, you're an enemy of our country if you want us to get out of Iraq. That's Neera Tanden. So I'm just reminding everybody who he is, and that's why it's jaw-dropping to see the head of the Justice Democrats and the former founder of the Justice Democrats sticking up for someone who's been the enemy of progressives her entire career. I wish Neera Tanden, this is, who says this?
Sajal Singh.
Sajal Singh says, I wish the Neera Tanden discourse was less focused on her tweets and more focused on how, under her leadership, the Center for American Progress covered up sexual harassment. Then when BuzzFeed reported on it, Neera outed the survivor. Oh. Think Progress to unionize with Writers Guild. So Think Progress was the Center for American Progress, which Neera Tanden ran, had a magazine called the Think Progress. And they unionized. And what happened? Well, they shut it down. As soon as they unionized, they shut it down. Bernie Sanders will vote for Neera Tanden despite battling her over her tweets. So everybody... This is the same thing you saw in the primary. Bernie Sanders not using his movement to get anything out of Joe Biden, not trying to get Joe Biden to move left at all. Is it disappointing to you how little he's pushed Joe Biden left, Ron?
Well, yeah. I mean, nobody has pushed Joe Biden left. This particular headline is kind of clickbaity because they don't provide any evidence that he'll actually do that. But I think he likely will. I mean, I think Bernie is going to vote for her. Like, I mean, I don't know that for a fact, and I really hope I'm wrong. But, I think he will because I think, he said, oh, I'm going to meet with her. I'm going to meet with her. I think he's going to meet with her. And I think she's going to say, hey, I'm going to have your back on these policies, which is going to be a lie. But I think he's going to believe her and he's going to vote for her. So
I don't think that's why.
The whole thing.
I don't think that's why he's going to vote for her. I think he's going to vote for her because he's told to by Joe Biden and whoever is going to make him unpopular. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is. Whatever his reasons may or may not be, I think he is. I don't know for sure. I hope I'm proven wrong. Really hope we're both proven wrong.
Say what you want about Bernie. He's not dumber about politics than I am. He's not dumber about politics than you are. So if Neera Tanden's going to lie to him, he's going to know she's lying. So that's not. Everybody tries to infantilize Bernie like he's some fucking moron who doesn't get. Oh, he thinks Trump is so scary. That's why. No, he is what he is. He's a lemming to the Democratic Party. Okay. And he's a sheep herder. This isn't about him making mistakes. This is his job. He already said, Ron, that he is not going to do anything through reconciliation as chairman of the Budget Committee. He's not going to do anything that Joe Biden hasn't first okayed. He said that. So that's what we're dealing with here. He's pretending like Joe Biden is his boss instead of us being his boss. And he's been doing that, I don't know, since 2016. So, all right. So let's move on to here's what Jen Psaki said. She says she's the press secretary for Joe Biden. How do you say her name? Paskey?
I think it's Psaki.
Psaki?
I think they don't pronounce the P for some
Neera
reason.
Tanden equals accomplished policy expert, would be the first Asian American woman to lead the OMB, has lived experience having benefited from a number of federal programs as a kid. I wonder,
Oh, God.
by the way, I wonder what her position on Modi is. Has anybody asked her what her position on Modi is? I wonder if Cenk Uygur and the Young Turks have asked her about Modi. I wonder. Do you know what her position on Modi is, Ron?
I don't know.
Isn't that
I have
weird
no
how
idea.
that doesn't come up? Isn't that weird how that doesn't come up? That's weird, right? That doesn't come up? I think it's weird. So
I see Neera Tanden on Twitter in 2014. They quote, was honored to meet Prime Minister Modi.
oh, she's honored to meet Prime Minister Modi. So she's cool with Modi. I'm guessing no one cares. I guess that's only when the Democratic Party tells you to care about Modi that you care. Right? Is that what that is? I think that's what that is. So she has experienced having benefited from a number of federal programs as a kid. Looking ahead to the committee votes this week and continue to. So you know those programs that she was. That's true. Neera Tanden was benefited of some welfare programs as a kid. But as Matt Breuning points out, the program she benefited from as a kid was the one she also went on to help dismantle while working in the White House. She has no real accomplishments, not policy expertise. Her role for the last decade has been raising money from Clinton circles.
Yes.
That's who she is. That's what she's been doing. Yes, Katie Helper says, yes, Neera Tanden has the lived experience of having benefited from a number of federal programs as a kid, and she has the lived experience of advocating cutting these programs as an adult. That, not her mean tweets to Republicans, disqualifies her. Couldn't agree more. Senator Susan Collins of Maine and Mitt Romney of Utah said they would oppose Neera Tanden's nomination to the Office of Management and Budget, citing hundreds of inflammatory social media posts. Her confirmation now appears all but impossible. Neera Tanden said, important thread, Jimmy Dore has created multiple videos to attack me. I ignore them, but they can be both vicious and ludicrous. It's kind of like Chris Christie calling you fat. Isn't it funny, right? Isn't it funny? It really is.
Do you think she's not? I mean, I think she's. I think she's going to get through. Do you think she might not?
I think she's going to get through.
I think she is too. I mean, so they're like, oh, she's doomed now. Like, I don't think so. I think she's going to get through. Again, I hope I'm wrong about all these things. I really do. But I think she's going to get through.
You're right. Anything's possible, Ron. I mean, the Justice Democrats could come out and support her. I mean, something crazy like that could happen. Something completely antithetical to the idea of the Justice Democrats could happen. Something completely. They were sent there to do a hostile takeover of the Democratic Party, and they're defending the dregs of the Biden administration. They're defending the dregs. There is no bottom for the Justice Democrats. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you we join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.